Hi, lovelies. Welcome back. I am extremely excited because today we get to get my package from Madam Glam. They were so kind to send me.
Hi guys. I'm sorry to interrupt myself here, wherever here is. I'm interjecting into wherever I am here, just to say hi. No, that's not it. I wanted to say Merry Christmas from me and Bubba and the fam. I hope that you guys will enjoy the video. I am going to cut myself off to stop rambling and hopefully just get right on in it. I want to say thank you though to Madam Glam for sending me these beautiful products. They were received for free from Madam Glam. However, they are in addition to the many Madam Glam products I already own and have paid for with my own money. My opinions are my own. No one else's. I'm not paid to say any of these things or to do any of these things. So we're going to be using a few of the ones that Madam Glam was so kind enough to send me. Thank you, Roxy. And also a few of the others that I bought with my own money. It's actually a staged thing, as in you can go from one step to the next step kind of thing and stop kind of wherever you want. So it can be as easy or as intricate as you end up wanting it to be. But I kind of wanted to do something, as was suggested to me by a lovely friend in one of my Facebook groups, to do something that, you could progress and add on to and add on to and add on to. And of course you can continue adding on to it even after we're done here. So it'll be fun. I hope for all of you guys. Other than that, let's just jump right in. Let's do it. All right, here we go. We have all our Madam Glam gels they sent us. We have First Taste Like Glam, which is a light to medium brown. Then we have Play Dead, which is my personal fave. It's a nice glittery, deep burgundy red, maroon, whatever you want to call it. Then we have our Perfect Gold, Perfect Green, and Crystal Ball, which is a nice wintry blue. We also have our Rubber Base Ecuador, our base and no wipe gloss top coat. And then we have something special here. That is our white pudding gel. Madam Glam has been out of their white and black art gel paints for quite some time. So Roxy was kind enough to suggest trying out the white pudding gel. So we're going to do both a swatch and detail painting try with that one. See how we like it. First up is going to be our Crystal Ball. That's our nice light wintry blue. I love it because it reminds me of that typical winter snow color. I mean, not the freezing ice cold realistic snow color, but in the cards, like greeting cards and movies and the fa la 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 la, that kind of Christmas. I hope I don't get a strike over my fa la las. Anyways, so now we have Play Dead. That one's, like I said, my personal favorite. I could wear that all year round, fingers and toes. Look at that sparkle. Sorry, I think it's perfect. It is just the right shade of red, not too bright, just a little dark, but not black or brown. But it's got this subtle glitter, which is obviously super glittery when you look at it and you get it in the night of light. And oh, just the sparkle is just incredible. And if you can kind of see it there, it's my fave. And then that is the cured crystal ball. As you can see, it really only needs one coat, and it is spectacular. Tastes like Glam. I really like this one because it's a nice middle of the road brown. I ended up accidentally kind of ordering a lot of browns, trying to get a light, medium, and a dark one, and was unsuccessful. I ended up with a bunch of light, basically nude brown. So this was a lovely middle of the road brown, which is intended for my sweater nails, and any accents on my dark ones. Now, really quickly, take a look at that Play Dead. It's hard to catch, but if you can see that sparkle, you'll see why I love it. Okay, Perfect Gold. I am in love with this gold. I mean, I love all gold, and I do love their gel paint gold, which you'll see we'll bring into the design later. But what I love about the Perfect Gold is it's like a glitter gold. It is it's perfect gold. But bump. Anyways, no, but really it has that beautiful 12 karat gold yellow to it. Just that bright yellow sparkle rather than the 24 karat kind of look where it's a little more green and bronzy, and that's what we're going to see in the paint gel. later on. Anyway, so this is the perfect green. Now, you'll see I struggled to get the green captured accurately. I try to pride myself on getting all of these captured really, really accurately. So you'll see I'm going to change it a bit to try and let you see it more accurately on the screen, and then I'll change it back for the rest because it obviously would mess up all the other colors. We're going to do a second layer of Plaid Dead just because I really think that it helps it just pop. It gives it that perfect opacity with that extra glitter. I mean, you can't beat it. And then I like to show it before and after curing because I've noticed that with some of the Madam Glam gels, it does have a slight difference after you cure it. And I think that's fascinating. So I figured I would show both always just to let you see for yourself. Plus, it's nice to see the opacity and everything and see why I would choose to do a second coat on some and not others. There's only a few that we're doing that second coat on. And then right there we have the Ecuador, our rubber base. I think that is a lovely rubber base color. It's nice, especially with thinner fingernails like I do because of my autoimmune disorders. It's wonderful. It just keeps them nice. It keeps them from cracking and breaking. We're going to do a second one, yeah, on the brown Taste Like Glam, because I do like to see how dark we can get the brown. Sometimes getting that second coat on will help darken it a little bit. Now we have the pudding gel. So at first we went and put a one coat coverage on a swatch because apparently you can do that with this one, which is really cool. And it actually has an incredible opacity. I love that. And then you'll see me just kind of messing around here with a liner. I don't want to waste gel, so I'm like, I'll just take it off the brush. But yeah, it goes on very nice, very smooth. I will say it's not quite the same as the gel paint. It is its own thing, but I still like it a lot. And now you'll see we're going to gloss top coat all of them. I'm not going to put you through the torture of having to see all the gloss top coating, but I'll start it and then just brush through the red for you. You will see I kind of tried to show the opacity of that white pudding gel. It really is super opaque, even with a very thin layer. So I love it. Here are all of them nice and swatched and glossed. These are all the ones that were sent. These are not the ones that we're going to be using, not all of them at least. We're going to be using the perfect green, perfect gold, Play Dead, and then the white pudding gel. We're also going to be bringing in Summer's Coming, which is a really lovely nude. I tested a couple nudes against the other colors. This just happened to be the one that I thought looked best with them. You, however, can use any nude that you have in hand, whatever one you think, works best with them, go for it. However, if you are looking to get a nude, I highly recommend this one. I love it. I like the color, the kind of middle of the road undertones and tints, and the fact that when you matte top coat it, just like I was saying, sometimes when they cure, they change color a little bit. When you matte top coat quite a few of these, they actually get lighter, and it does that with this nude specifically, and I love how it comes out. So anyways, moving on, we are going to take the three nails. We got the thumb, middle, and pinky, and we're going to hit that with the Summer's Coming through the whole thing and cure. And then we are going to green. And so you'll see I tried to change the picture there too, just to give you a little bit more accurate. It's still not perfectly accurate, but it's as close as I could get it, so I apologize. All right, we're going to actually matte those three nude Summer's Coming colors. And then you'll see those two sitting there are the Play Dead and the Perfect Green. And now we're going to actually gloss the Perfect Green because guess what? We're going to chrome it. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I love me a good chrome. Plus, this color looks particularly good with chrome. Anyways, so like I said, we're going to chrome it on up. I have just an Aurora Chrome powder, just a cheap one that I got off of Amazon. I think this might be the Born Pretty brand. It could be any brand, to be quite honest. I have a few. This one was picked specifically because it has a slighter gold undertone. So we just did a quick chroming right over the no wipe, and then I put a base coat and then top coat, and then it is ready. However, you will notice I kind of didn't plan that well enough ahead. I realized that we're going to probably run into some issues when we go to decorate it. So you'll see later we're going to buff the top coat of the chrome. It was kind of stressful, but we make it work. I just trust me here, trust me. All right, so we actually just pulled out the Parisian night, and we are going to cat eye our Plaid Dead, because if it wasn't gorgeous enough and sparkly enough, we're going to add even more, because we're so freaking awesome like that. We want to just sparkle the crap out of everything. So yeah, I love me a good cat eye. I mean, who doesn't love a good cat eye? I mean, it's just too fun. So yeah, we just kind of whoosh it. I have one of those, I have the regular magnet, which you'll see me use later for one of the decorations, but I like to use the rare earth magnet, I think it is. And it just really gives that whoosh, like, oh, even faster and really awesome. Now we are actually French tipping 2 of these. One of these is going to be the perfect green right here. And then after, we're going to be doing the other one in our Plaid Dead. It's funny. I apologize. This is the longest French tip process I've probably ever done in a very long time. I have been woefully out of practice, so bear with me. I would normally be able to show you pretty decently how to get a nice French tip fairly easily. I will say a little neat trick. If you are struggling and it's not an extraordinarily sharp tip that you're painting on, you can always use your rubber stamper, like your silicone stamper, I mean, and just hit the tip with that, and you can get a nice, even, beautiful French as long as you go slowly and at the right angle so it doesn't get all over the bottom. I can do a video on that. Just let me know down below if you'd like one. But yeah, we went old school. I always suggest using a longer liner brush for it. And make sure going parallel to the nail, nice and smooth, not too fast, but not too slow. And just giving it a nice all the way through motion. You don't want to lift it up halfway through if you can avoid. So we are going to cure that. We're going to put top coat over the whole nail, and then we're going to chrome that too. And I love the way the Summer's Coming looks chromed. It's absolutely gorgeous. So then after we chrome that, we are going to just hit it with the base coat and then top coat again, like we did with the other chrome nail. I will say, yet again, I did not plan very well or ahead on that one. So that will be one of the ones we end up like buffing later so that we can put our details and our cute decorations on it. However, if you end up just finishing off and like deciding that this first stage is a stage you want to just leave your nails at, because it is really gorgeous once we get through the next 2 nails, to leave it as it is. That's kind of like where this whole stage thing comes. But if you're going to go and leave yourself at that stage where you're just going to chrome them and not move on to add the next stage of like decoration, detail work, whatever we want to call it, then you wouldn't need to worry about the fact that we base and top coated it, and you wouldn't have to do any of that buffing nonsense. So awesome. Next up, we are going to do the second French tip, which I somehow was struggling even more on than the first one. So yeah, again, just bear with me. I try to do, my own version of kind of the A-line method. If you've not heard of it, let me know. Anyways, moving on. So I apologize you didn't see me finish that French tip, but it would have been the same concept as the green one, but with the red. So now that you have done your French tip, because my French tip magically got finished there, we are going to hit it with the cat eye. Yeah, because it wouldn't be just as gorgeous if we don't cat eye our French tip. Thing is, you're going to just want to coat the crap out of it. Pardon my language, but really there's just no better way to put it. And then I just kind of touch up with a liner around the edge as best I can. We're going to use, so you'll see the original tool here, because I wanted something a little more controlled. I just kind of pushed all of the little cat eye lines towards the edges. And we're going to cure that. And now we're going to work on our last little pinky nail here. We're actually going to be doing more like a peppermint candy cane kind of striped thing. I never know if it's a peppermint or a candy, although they do make candy canes in all kinds of flavors, colors, and variations now. So yeah, it would probably be a candy cane nail, more so than like a peppermint But you'll see I just very meticulously and tediously run through getting my lines as straight as I can. I'm trying to do a thin line and then a thicker line and then a thin line again, and kind of just alternating that to give it a little variation. And you'll see I'm going to be alternating kind of through my liner brushes. I tend to stick to the longest ones I have. All of my, what is it, the 20 to 25 millimeter range. I believe I have a few in between there, at least three. And I prefer those and will pretty much only use those for anything that's longer line work, including my French tips, but especially like straight lines like that. And then the smaller liner will only come into play if I'm trying to get like just the edges or really, really, really small spots where I don't need the longer liner like flicking back at me. While I'm doing these very thin and meticulous lines, I will talk a little bit about Madam Glam because I don't think I've done that yet. Why not? Madam Glam, I particularly had started to use when I developed an allergy. For those of you who don't know my story, I didn't know that there was still even an option out there once I had that allergy. I thought it was over. I couldn't do nails anymore. It was really quite upsetting. Turns out there is, and I'm very fortunate enough to not have any secondary or tertiary allergies. However, people who do should absolutely get tested from their dermatologist. Ask for an acrylate allergy patch test. And then that way you can make sure that whatever you are allergic to specifically, you're looking for in the SDS sheets. Ask for those SDS sheets, please. Do not trust. Even some of the other brands that I've seen, I've contacted, I'm not going to say names, but I've contacted them just to verify if they're HEMA-free because I didn't see them say HEMA-free, but it wasn't in the ingredients list. So I was like, that's kind of odd. It's something you would normally want to market. Well, the other brands decided to tell me, oh, well, it's because there is HEMA in it. It's just a small percentage, which is great if you don't have a HEMA allergy yet. So not great otherwise. So yeah, always ask, always be sure. And if you can't find that SDS sheet or they won't give it to you, don't trust. It's just not worth it. I've had far too many accidental reactions because of mislabeled products. That is why I love Madam Glam. I could trust everything. And they are also 21 free, cruelty free, vegan, and they're just wonderful. Their customer service is wonderful. Their packaging is wonderful. I can go on and on. But so far, there's hardly, I don't think, anything I've actually gotten from Madam Glam ever that I haven't just loved. Okay, so we finished up our little lines, and we are actually putting Cat Eye, the Parisian Night on those lines too. Yes, because I am just a little bit extra. So I realized after attempting for the first time that it did not make a whole lot of sense to use the magnet on them. It didn't really, you couldn't tell. If anything, it just kind of made it disappear. So I just went over it again and I decided to just cure it with the cat eye as is on the lines. And I still think it looks fabulous. So yeah, we just did a quick buffing. Just be really cautious when you do so, not to get into that lower layer. You want to try and keep it to the top coat, but you do need to scratch up the surface enough that our polishes and paints will stick nicely to it when we try to get our details on. I did accidentally go a little too deep. I hit the chrome. I know. Forgive me, but you don't have to because now you know. So yeah, just ignore that ugly patch. I was able to fix it, and you'll see at the end it's pretty good, but I would highly recommend you be far more cautious than I was. And after we do that, we're just going to give it a good nice cleanse with some rubbing alcohol acetone mix. Now we're grabbing out our white pudding gel and our pinky nail, or peppermint pinky, I should say, peppermint pinky nail. And we're going to actually add in some white lines. I try to get these white lines really thin, right up against the top, I believe, of all the red lines. We'll see if I'm remembering correctly. I put a lot of lines on this one. But the point of that was is you can literally stop at any stage and it still looks really cute and really pretty, in my opinion. At least I'm hoping you feel the same. So yeah, we're just using our Melody Susie liner on this one. And we're going to grab our present nail. This is going to be our present nail with that green chrome underneath. Again, unfortunately, I'm sorry, the color of the camera does not pick up the green right, but I figured it was a sacrifice worth making so that the rest of everything looked right. And then, or when the time comes, I'll adjust again so that you can see what it's supposed to actually look like as far as what my eyes see it. I try to give you guys an accurate representation as I possibly can. So we're just putting on the 2 lines of a little present. Really simple. It honestly shouldn't take me this long. Pudding gel, I will say, is actually really lovely. I ended up really enjoying it. I will say, I'm sorry, I still miss the paint gels, but the pudding gel is definitely a great option while we wait. And even after, there's use for both, honestly. Okay, now we're just going in the same thing. We're going to just keep using that white. That's kind of the order in which we decided to go in here. And I am making the middle finger a plaid French tip. Yeah, a middle fingered plaid French tip, which I will admit was probably one of the harder ones that I did just because I could not figure out how I wanted to make this plaid. There are so many plaid options out there. It's hard. And because I got a white gel and I didn't want to bring in another like black or darker one because most reds are with like tartan, right? So I was like, well, so this is what we did. So we got some white lines in there and now we're just going to make our little bow while that one's flash curing. Make our little bow on our little bow present finger. You'll see I'm using the Madam Glam brushes here because anything that's smaller details, especially curves, you definitely will likely find yourself wanting to use a shorter brush. Shorter the better. However, with shorter, you do have less paint on it, so you have to go back in more often, depending on the brush, of course, but that's a general rule. So you got to weigh out the pros and cons. How short do you need it versus how much paint do you need on it at a time? I was kind of lazy about getting my paint out of there, so I just used my little tiny brush. Yeah, I would recommend using a spatula or something and just taking out enough at one time, but I did not. Also, because I'm like super sparingly OCD about it, I don't like to use more paint than I have to. Anyways, the next one is our last little decorated finger here, and we're actually doing our Christmas balls. Yeah, no, that sounds too weird. Christmas ornaments. There we go. We're going to do 2 little Christmas circles on that one and flash cure and then go back into our present. I decided to add in shadow lines. You can or cannot. It's up to you how you make your little bow, but I thought it looked a little bit more detailed and in depth, a little more finished, having that little thinner line underneath the top one to make it look as it's got like that dimension, like a real bow. And then I'm just going to go and do the other side. And then same thing, add in that little detailed like shadow-esque line. And then flash cure that, bring the other one back out. And now we're going to draw these little sweeping lines across where our little Christmas ornaments are. Just really easy. Just one under the other. There's no real rhyme or reason. It was just kind of going with what it felt like. I think 3 is always a really nice number to go with in a general sense. 3 is a balanced number. We're going to flash cure that one, and we're going to flip right back to our plaid nail. We're going to go and do all of our lines in the other direction now. That will cross over the first white lines that we did. And of course, anything that's around that French tip, you can really easily just clean up with some rubbing alcohol and a brush. But yeah, just try and get some lines. I figured, a nice variation of it would look better rather than having them like even. I don't want it checkerboarded. I wanted it plaid. So we just went in and put some like thick and thin and all over. Anyways, we're going to flash cure that. We're doing a lot of back and forth just because I'm trying to flash cure it so that if I mess up something, we can clean it up without destroying all of our other hard work. That is why we're doing kind of back and forth thing, but I like it. It keeps us busy, right? It keeps us fun instead of sitting there waiting for it to cure. So we're putting in the little bottoms of our bows and I'm trying to keep it a little off-centered. And then I did the same thing with like that whole shadow outline line so that it kind of tries to give it extra dimension without just having a thick blobby of a line. And then little, like, those little wisps at the end, because I always, when I think of a bow, I always think of those little cute little V cutouts at the end, so you can't have one without that. Like, come on. And that one's pretty much done. I mean, the bow nail, you could call it done. That's one of the easiest ones there. So we're gonna cure that out, and then we're coming right back. And then I'm actually just gonna thicken up that white line there. I decided I wanted one thick. Most of the white lines are actually gonna be more of an underlayer for our gold mix that we're gonna do after, but I wanted to have something to help them really pop and stand out because I figured them by themselves over the red would just be too dark. So we're gonna just flash cure that line, and then we're gonna add in our last little lines on these ornaments, not balls, ornaments. And now we'll flash cure that, and we're coming right back to the plaid again, and we're just going to cure up the other perpendicular line to it. And, you know, same thing, just thicken that one up and then clean it up and flash cure. And then, that's what's so nice about flash curing is you can just clean up edges and make them perfect and not have to worry about ruining all of your other line work. Anyways, flash cure that one. We're going to come back into our peppermint nail. Not getting into things. And we're actually going to go in with our perfect green on this one. Let's tie in our green. And we're going to go on the opposite side of those thin lines with that green. And we're just going to go in with an equally thin, if not thinner, line of green right up against that red. It's kind of just like playing with that balance of color. There was no rhyme or reason to this, to be quite honest. It was just what would look pretty. And then flash cure that, and then we're going to just go right in with the green again, but onto our ornament nail and fill in just one of our little, we could call them baubles instead of balls. Baubles, you know, or ornaments, but we're going to go on the right one, and we're going to just very tediously fill in that right circle bauble ornament, whatever. In the future, I'll be using a dotting tool and not a brush for this, which I highly recommend you do instead of this, because this was just not the brightest idea I ever had. But it's kind of like once you start, you know, you're committed. So I had to finish it. So I'm filling it in. You can see my edges are kind of a mess. Just going to clean that up and try and get it nice and even as possible. Again, I highly recommend a dotting tool, but you can use the brush too, apparently. Flash cure that, and then we're going to come right back. I say flash cure, but when I flash cure, most of the times I put it in for at least 30 seconds, if not 60 seconds, because I'd rather things be completely cured. And we're actually going to go over the green on this peppermint nail with some top coat. Because guess what? We're going to chrome it. Sorry. Yeah, because if I'm going to cat eye the peppermint nail red, I got to chrome the green. Got to keep it consistent. And then we're going to flash cure that top coat. We're going to bring out our ornament nail. And we're going to do the same thing. See, we finally got smart. We brought out the dotting tool. Yep, so I actually went in and cured and then chromed it. Sorry, I did that off camera, but it was just a quick little chrome right over that ornament. And flash cure again. And then we're going to come in and go with our dotting tool again, but with our Plaid left bauble / ball / ornament, whatever we're going to call it. I still haven't figured out what we should be calling it. Or let me know down below. What do you call them? And I actually went in again to the present nail, but what I probably shouldn't have. So this is not something that I would even advise to do. But if you find that maybe there's some spots you want to touch up, you would maybe want to go back in. Moving on, so we are mixing the gold chrome paint gel with the perfect gold polish. And then we're just going to go in over that thickest white line on the plaid nail. And then we're going to clean it up and cure it. And then we're going to grab out the ornament nail, and we're actually, we're going to cat eye the red one, because you can't have the chrome without the cat eye at this point. So that was just the same thing, balling with a little magnet. You can barely tell, but it still looks pretty. It's a little extra. And then flash cure that, we're going to go into our plaid nail again and do the perpendicular line with that same nice gold mix. Clean up, flash cure, and then there we go. So I really wanted to add, I know I'm strange because you can barely even see them. I wanted to add in those cute little top parts of the ornaments. So I went in with my gold, plus I made mixed a lot of it. So I was like, let's use it. And I did those little, the little square on the red one. And then I did a little like crown liney one on the green one, just to give it that little extra flair. The hat one, and now we're gonna bring our plaid one back out. And this, I needed something, and I couldn't figure out what. So I was like looking at some plaid designs, and I saw that a lot of them have these like little white diagonal lines on like just one of the lines. I was like, okay, let's just do that. So we went in with the white pudding gel, and we just went and put in those little white diagonal lines halfway across the gold line that we had put in. And I personally, I was a fan. And you can kind of be sloppy about it and just clean it up with some rubbing alcohol. And then cure those. Okay, so we're just going in with our glossy top coat. So this was the real test. I had not known exactly how this was going to go. Actually, I have not had to buff a top coat and then try to re-top coat it later in hopes that the chrome and like all of that beautiful chrominess had come back. So I wasn't sure it was going to be quite honest. This was all one big hope and a wish. And now I can say that yes, you can. And you can already start to see it just come back as if we had never buffed it, but you will see the after. Sorry. I somehow completely lost the very last minute or so of my footage, so I didn't show you guys the afters with the chrome and the top coat. It did work out okay. Yay! You'll see in the photos, which I'm going to interject right after you have to see my face here, while we just chat for like a second more. But sorry, don't know where it went. I don't. Seems like the Christmas elves gave it to somebody else as a gift, not me. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just trying to talk fast enough so that my kid doesn't keep crying in the background and that hopefully you can actually hear me. Haha! Anyways. Finally made it. I will say you can take this one stage further to go in, and I wanted to do this, but honestly, I ran out of time. I ran out of patience. You could, and I absolutely should have, go in with gemstones. I mean, what nails don't need bling? I'm sorry, I'm a fan. I love me some bling. But I want to apologize again. The whole idea was to be able to show you the chrome working out, that you could buff it and then top coat it again and still have it come back just as beautiful as the first time. But that is why I'm showing you this odd little still image here of the final, just so you can take a look. By the way, the kid on that screen earlier, not Bubba, the kid on the screen later that you'll see, yes, that is my Bubba. This is a new channel, so it is more important than it probably ever will be to have your support. Like and subscribe, share if you have anybody who can find some value in this, or even some mild entertainment, especially if you stick around for just like another 2 minutes after this, because I'm pretty sure, especially if you've ever had kids or frustrating coworkers even, you'll thoroughly enjoy what I am gonna share. And other than that, hopefully I will be seeing you lovelies again soon. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and Happy New Year, in case you guys don't see me until then, but I'm hoping that you will. But either way, enjoy and see ya! Hi guys! Alright, welcome back. So, I wanted to interject from here or there, wherever I am right now. Here it is. But what's that? Hi. No, that's not it. I'm actually interjecting to say that, I don't know. Let me sit here and think about it forever and ever and ever. Okay, let's try this again. And Bubba and the fam, to yours, why are you crying? Can you come join me instead? Any of these things, or to do any of these things. I only receive these products for free, and most of the ones that I am going to be using. Some of the ones that I'm even using in this design ended up being ones that I had already owned. Why won't you let me record, buddy? I need to get this done, please. Let's just jump right in. Let's do it. Let's go. I'm gonna do some silly dance. No, I don't know. Kid keeps crying every time I try to record. So, and I have no idea if this audio is any good. I have no idea what I'm doing.